This video is kindly sponsored by Squarespace, but more on that a little later. Hi guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Well Loved Knits, and today I wanted to take you through my Instagram saved folder, give you a little peek at what I've been saving recently. It's a nice mix of patterns that I thought I would share with you. Really reflects where I'm at right now in my knitting journey. These are not new patterns by any means. The Instagram algorithm is weird. I think we can all agree, and I get served things from years ago. I get served things from the day of. Nonetheless, I really like them right now, and I want to share them with you. I hope that this lineup will be nice and valuable to you. You might find some things that you already knew. Maybe you didn't even hear about them because, again, the algorithm is weird. So this is Instagram focused, but I'm sure you can find these on Ravelry, and I will leave links in the description for you to do so. Before we get into these patterns, I do want to say a few words about the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. You guys know I love Squarespace. I talk about them all the time. They are the #1 platform to build an online presence. I personally think so because I have been using them for years now. I just really enjoy the experience that I've had, their level of service, and the different features that I'm able to incorporate into my online space. So start a newsletter, collect memberships, schedule appointments. Squarespace has a lot of features that cater to your needs. So definitely check out Squarespace. There's a link in the description for you to start a free trial with them to play around and see what you think. Then when you're ready to launch, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using my code. So thanks again, Squarespace, and thank you for letting me do a little bit of housekeeping. So without further ado, let's get into these patterns. I really have no rhyme or reason into these, and honestly, I might have forgotten a few. You know how it is when you're mindlessly scrolling. Sometimes you look back through and you're like, wow, I saw that? I don't even remember. My Favorite Things Knitwear is definitely one of the designers that really got me into making my own clothes and knitting. So it's really interesting that I'm coming back to her after so long not really knitting any of her patterns. I want to cast on so many of hers. And this one is a new release. This one actually just got released, I think, within the last week or so. Cardigan number 9 I really like because it has the saddle shoulder detail, but in particular, I really love the buttons. It's less about the sweater design itself. It's a very classic design. I feel like it's a very flattering, like easy to throw on sweater. A little on the grandma side, but in a flattering way. But what I really, really love about this pattern is the buttons that she decided to use, because I think that those are just like the best final touch. And if I were to knit this, I would definitely find my way to source buttons the same as those. Obviously, this one would work really nicely with a lot of neutrals, but the one that I've saved and it's really caught my eye is, I think, the sample that she knit herself. I believe her name's Louise from My Favorite Things Knitwear, in red. And if I were to knit this, I would knit this in red because I think this would be a perfect holiday sweater. So we're not really like on spring necessarily. This is just in general patterns that I've just really been into. I mean, she shows her sample with 2 separate buttons. I think she was trying to decide between the two. And I honestly think those little pill looking buttons, whatever they might be called, that's a winner. And it really brings together the whole design. It really makes the design for me and makes me want to have it in my closet, which is just really funny that buttons can really have an impact on the final sweater. Also with My Favorite Things Knitwear, I'm sure you have seen this one. This one is also a fairly new release, probably within the last 2 months or so. This is her Norma sweater, and I really love the colors that were used in this sample from Melina Maria. This is the Norma sweater, again, with a beautiful green. I've just been loving this green lately. This is something that I really want to work with, this color. And then paired with the brown and the tan, I just really love how this sweater, this definitely gives me a little bit more spring feel than the last one. Definitely influenced by the colors. It, you know, just like any other sweater, depending on what colors you use, it can be perfect for spring, it can be perfect for fall. The Elisabeth blouse has been catching my eye. And this one in particular, I really love the melange that this knitter did. Funny thing is, this sweater, when it first came out, never really caught my eye. I didn't really give it much thought, if any at all. But maybe it's because I'm really loving this particular sweater right now, which is the zipper sweater man that has a similar kind of collar look to it. Thank goodness I decided to knit for my husband because this is the only knitwear that actually fits me right now, 30 weeks pregnant. So maybe it's because I've been wearing this a lot lately. I like the style. I like the way that the collar sits. Have you knit a collared sweater at all, ever? Because it's really nice. This double knit right here feels really good. And I just think it elevates the sweater a little bit, just a little bit different than a simple crew neck. Because I have a lot of crew necks. Goodness knows I have a lot of hand knit crew necks in my wardrobe, a lot of turtlenecks. So it's nice to kind of mix it up with a different kind of construction for the neckline. There are a lot of cable knits in my saves right now, and it's definitely because I'm knitting on sweater number 15, 16. But if I were to cast on a cable sweater again in the near future, it would be something a little bit more varied. Not something that has like a repeat over and over again, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm getting a little bored of that. So inspired by that, we have a couple of options. Of course, the queen of cables, cable knits herself, Sari Nordlund. This Colette pullover I think would be perfect for spring, and in this exact color, I need it. This eyelet and cables was definitely a trend. I want to say, was it last year or 2 years ago when these were released? I think it's really beautiful, and I think this would be fun to knit. So it's definitely giving me the same feeling as the Ingrid sweater. So a little bit of variation there. A nice repeat would be a lot of fun. So I'm thinking that might be, yeah, my next cable-esque sweater. So the storm sweater, I just think throughout the project it would be a lot of fun to work up. However, I also saved the storm sweater slipover, or storm slipover junior, which I think would be a perfect project for Arthur because he is now outgrown all of the sweaters that I have made him. He's just a big boy. So we need to get him some new knitwear. But it's not really the time, I think, for knitwear as far as sweaters go. A big woolly sweater, I think we're almost at the end of that. So I think a slipover would work really well. One, because it's a lot less to do than a sweater. But then also, yeah, just for the warmer season, it still gets a little chilly here in Belgium. So it's nice to have that extra layer, but not too much, you know? To satisfy my craving for this texture and this really crazy pattern, I will definitely consider casting on for Arthur a little storm slipover, and I just think it's so precious. This sweater is what made yellow stuck in my head again. I've been wanting to knit a yellow sweater for a really, really long time. It's been about 2 years and I still haven't done it. I sourced the wrong kind of yellow. It wasn't really the yellow that I was kind of hoping for, so I'm thinking this lighter yellow that I have here in this cone will work really nicely for me. And this sweater here is one that I cannot get out of my head, and the name escapes me, unfortunately. The korshavn sweater. I hope I'm saying that right. But yes, it's the korshavn sweater by Strict Cafe. I have the pattern for this. I am ready to cast this on. I would love to have this sweater. I think this is exactly what I'm going to be knitting with this beautiful yellow yarn. I want to copy and paste this project right here. Something about it has been just calling my name, and I can't get it out of my head. I love that waffle stitch. This is gonna definitely take a little bit more effort on my side with my pregnant brain. I'm not really sure how well it's gonna go, but I'm going to give it my all when I have some free needles. I want to knit with primary colors. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm really excited to have a lot more color in my finished objects, a lot more color in my wardrobe, and a lot more texture too. So bringing those both together is just really a theme for me. Wow, talk about something incredible for the future. I would just absolutely love to knit, but I just don't ever know if I will have the guts. Is the BB sweater by Spectacle Strick. I'm working on the Erica, the big Erica jumper, the chunky version. And I really love just how out there Spectacle Strix designs are. And I think this one is not out there necessarily, but you can definitely get really creative. All of the samples are just insane. Like, look at this one. This one's so pretty. I love those colors together. There's just so much going on there, and I love it so much. This one here is so beautiful. I just really love the blue and the green. Again, that green is there, and I have it here too. I didn't show you. I have this green that I really want to work with. I don't think I'm gonna cast this on, but I just think it's such a beautiful sweater. Bucket list knitting. That is what this sweater is for me. I just think it's so beautiful. And one day, if I have the guts and the talent and the patience, most importantly, I would love to cast this one on. So I have two like tank top vest style knits that I don't even know if they're my style necessarily, but I do really love this look. I just don't know how I personally would be able to style them and how they would fit into my life. Mom things, I don't really know. But I just really love the way that this one looks. This is by Mochi Knits. I don't know if this is her pattern, but this is her sample for sure. This is the Claire top, and I think it's really cute. I love how she did those oversized buttons and how they're not on the placket. Instead, they're right in the center. I just think that's really lovely. This looks so delicate and nice. It's got a little bit of a menswear feel to it, but then it also is very feminine, which I really love. I think this would be perfect on its own. I just love how it's a vest kind of style, but it's to be worn on its own, like without a t-shirt over top or underneath or anything like that. I really love how that looks. This one also had a very similar feel to it. This is by Typical Bliss. This actually doesn't have a pattern name or anything. I think she just finished the sample and she's kind of deciding whether or not she wants to release it as a pattern. So definitely go over to this post and tell her that you're interested if you are. This again also has that menswear feel, but also very feminine. Would be nice just to wear on its own in the summer months. I just think it would be a really sweet piece to make. I think I've gone through a lot of these. These are definitely not all of the ones that I've saved recently, but I do want to just do a little bit of a refresh on this AEO knit one that I have. This is the Jeju sweater, which is something that I wanted to knit for Christmas, I think. That was like around Christmas time. I was kind of craving a holiday knit, but I didn't quite figure out what color combination I wanted to do. And then I went on to start my cable journey. But I did want to bring this one back up because it's still a top contender. I think this would be a really cute spring sweater as well. Maybe in this green, it would be really nice. I don't know. So I would still really love to knit this sweater, and it's still really coming back to me because I think I saved this post recently again. So the Jeju sweater is a beautiful argyle pattern on the body. I really love that look. And just the fact that it's just a big block of color work at the bottom of the sweater is really cool to me. That's actually what has stopped me from casting it on though, because I was really into the idea of working color work like immediately. And it takes a while to get to it. You know, you have to get through the yoke there. And I didn't feel like doing that. So that's the only thing that stopped me with this sweater. If it were bottom up, that would be a different story. But I definitely think that this will be on a future cast on for sure. Okay. These were a lot of different sweater patterns, a nice mix of things, at least in my opinion. You can definitely see that I'm still craving that texture. There are some colors that are inspiring to me very clearly in my saves. I see a lot of those colors coming up very frequently. So it's about time that I cast on something with those colors and maybe hopefully one of these saved projects that I have been having my eye on for a really long time. So thank you guys so much for sitting down and chatting about these with me. It was really nice sharing them with you. I hope you found something that maybe you didn't know about, or if you did know all of these patterns, I hope that seeing them again might have ignited something within you to cast one on, or cast on something that you have been, you know, kind of thinking about on and off for a really long time, because that's definitely where I'm at. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. That really helps me out. And subscribe if you want to stick around. I'd love to have you here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!